Hi guys, and welcome to the Nürburgring in Germany. For once it's nice and sunny. The last two events held here in Formula Sprint 1 and 2 have been sodden affairs. Today it's nice and sunny and we are here for Superlights. I'm by myself tonight, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit. It's either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how much you like my voice. But you've got it all night. Fantastic news. We got 49 laps of this 6th round here at Nürburgring. You can see the track layout there. And so far, the pace setter is Owen McGorgy, and I think that is not news to anyone. He's absolutely been pace setter all season. Joseph Herlock in practice was second fastest, so there's a lot to look out for. He was on the front row last round out at Jeddah, and he will be looking to stay connected, because if you remember, if you were here, he sadly disconnected on the formation lap and was unable to rejoin and retake the start of the race. So we are looking forward to an interesting qualifying session, which is starting now. And if you haven't been here before, it is private qualifying. Everyone goes out by themselves. and goes up to set laps. So we will be watching that with bated breath whilst we're waiting for the session to get fully underway. As you can see, I think that's Dylan Platt probably out on track right now. We should talk about the championship standings. Owen McGorgy leads by 25 points. He's got a full race win in his pocket. But he's leading from Fabrizio Gobbi, who is not here tonight. So Schluter takes his place, and that has happened previously. Giuseppe Ragusa is only a point back though, and he is racing tonight. So keep an eye out for him. And Sandeep Singh has actually had a couple of good rounds, and he's clawed his way back up to 4th position in the championship standings. And Sandeep is certainly on the pace a little more today than he has been previously. Only 4/10 off Owen. That actually put him P3 in practice. So we'll watch out for him with bated breath. This is indeed Dylan Platt. Recognise that helmet design anywhere. And he's on his outlap and looking to set a fast lap. He was 5th fastest in practice. That's why he is P5 currently. And he comes towards the chicane. This is the penultimate set of corners. And then onto the final corner itself and onto the start-finish straight. So this is a return to the calendar for Nürburgring. Certainly an interesting version of the track. There was been some interesting comments about it in the Discord chat, but it's not the official R Factor 2 release version. It is a modified, unofficial version, but it certainly does the job. And Dylan, as you can see, is out for his first flying lap of qualifying in the TR Geeks vehicle, and as he comes through towards Sector 1. And he has done a 28.3, which is actually only a 10th off what Owen did in practice. So a pretty competitive first sector. And he plunges down the hill towards the banked hairpin. A lovely corner this. You've got to brake and get it in nice and early into that cambered section before it flings you out wide and onto the Schumacher S's, where Hamilton had his puncture in 2007. And through he goes nice and easy flat these days. Using all of the available entry runoff area and coming through towards the back straight here. Nice exit here. There is a DRS zone. A 37.4 is actually, again, it's only a couple of tenths off, and in fact he holds the fastest middle sector so far. So this is a decent lap actually from Dylan coming into the final chicane. A little bit wide of the apex. He got a bit of oversteer on the exit too, but he heads towards the final corner. This will be interesting to see where this puts him. Behind him on track, Owen McGorgy is going faster, so we'll flick back to him. So 29.6 for Platt. That's actually slower than he managed in practice. The final sector letting him down a little bit there. Here comes McGorgy though, and he's about 3 tenths up. This is going to be a significant improvement, I would say, and it's a 28.9. So that's the fastest lap time we've seen so far, and an excellent banker for him. As Schluter comes across the line P5, and he's almost a full second off look. So plenty of work for Mark Schluter to do. Here's Jerry Van Boosel, and he is coming through the final corner now, and he is on a 30.1, so that puts him P8. That will change, I would say, rapidly as drivers behind step their first competitive laps. Here's Damien Kardash for Gallery 82, and he has made a mistake on this lap. He's just finished the lap, presumably just to get some sort of banker time in, but that's 5.4 seconds off. It might be that he's doing 2 warm-up laps actually, considering the pace of that lap. Is Ragoza coming through the final corner, his teammate in the Gallery 82 squad, and he's done a 31.0. Again, not the quickest time. He's 2 seconds off Owen. Zongoli comes across the line now, and he's done a 30.8, so that's P11 for him. Let's see if Kardash is pushing. No, Kardash is a little bit off the pace here. I don't know why that would be. A little interesting, that one. But here's Stavros Musaidis coming through the final corner now. And for Valley Esports, as he crosses the line, will this be a 29? It's a 30.058 for Stavros. So a reasonably competitive lap. Here's Heigl Boom, who, let's say, was given the... given the hip and shoulder by Alex Lahou in the last race. He crosses the line 30.461. Lahou is not racing today. He can't. Unfortunately, he's exceeded his license points, so we won't be having any Lahou antics today. Here's Silva Joffer crossing the line now, 32.3 for him. quite a big disparity in the times up and down the field, actually. If you look, it's 4/10 from Owen to Joseph Herlock. So from Mulgorgi to Herlock in P2. Kardash is missing a front wing here. So obviously had a bit of an incident on his second flying lap. So this will now be an in lap for Damien. He pits. So he's going to repair his front wing and go straight back out, I'd imagine. Nice to see Liam de Waal back in the car for this round. And he is on a lap right now, coming through the first sector of Fusion Racing. Liam hoping to regain the form of the first couple of rounds. His car looks a little understeery, to be brutally honest, through that slow section there. Coming through sector 1, he's 2.5 tenths down. That car has a lot of understeer. That's pushing on a lot through the middle part of this lap. I would say Liam probably needs to wind a click or two of front wing back on that car. Let's see how it gets, if it gets anywhere near the apex here. I think there's about 14 cars widths on the inside of that corner, Liam, that you might want to use. Comes through the Schumacher S's now. But yeah, that's looks like it needs a little bit of work, that car, to get that running right. Maybe he's got a full-on race setup to protect the rears, but he hasn't troubled any of the apexes so far this lap. And yeah, a country mile away from that one as well. And he's 8.5 tenths down. So Liam either hasn't done too many laps practice, or maybe he hasn't quite got the right car setup on that car. It doesn't look the best car to drive as he comes through into the final corner now. And once again, not quite getting anywhere near the white line there. Exits the corner. He's travelled twice the distance everyone else has, but he's still done a 29.9. So a click or two of front wing, which you can do in Parc Fermé. He might get that car back to where it needs to be. Here's Dominique Farchevin coming across the line now. 31.3. Dominique for Team Ballas. Here's Sandeep Singh, whose first lap wasn't his best. He is green, so therefore a personal best first sector. Coming through the second sector now, and the flat out Schumacher S's, just minimum tyre scrub through here. I'm gonna borrow, I think everyone's borrowing this this bit of entry green again. Well, that's quite wide through there for Sandeep. Onto the back straight now. Not too much curve. This car looks a lot better than the Vals that we just watched. See how it gets through the chicane. It's easy to lose the rear on traction through the second part here. If he manages all of that beautiful throttle application there from Sandeep, he's always been good at that, good on his tyres. Much closer to the apex than Deval was. There should be an improvement for Singh, I'd imagine, as he crosses the line now, and he moves himself up to P3. That was a pretty decent lap from what we could see of it. We obviously didn't see the first sector, and Singh's first sector was just over a tenth off Bagorgi's. Bagorgi's just better everywhere around the lap than anyone at the moment. Ragusa up to P5. If he wants to continue to challenge for the championship, then that's what he needs to do. Keep putting his cut. Here's Rietveldt. Oh, look at that. He's just kept out of the barrier. Good job by Cass. Standing in there in the Bali Esports. So he's going to have to pit on this lap and have another go. 6 minutes of qualifying, well, 6 minutes 30 of qualifying left. It's enough time for 2 more runs if you get back out on track fast. Here's Ragusa coming into the final sector now for Gallery 82. And you can see the scraping on the floor, the sparks flying up from that Gallery 82 machine, and a little bit of dust as he runs a bit wide. Chooses to abort this lap. Wasn't the fastest. Kardash in 24th position, not sure where his pace was. He's on a 30.3 now, so he moves himself up into P11, which is more, I would say, where he's been this season standard wise. Rosaidis coming through the final sector now, very, very low right height on that Bali Esports car. That'll be fun in the race, I'd imagine, but he's, where is he? He's 6 tenths down currently, coming into the final corner now, which is, yeah, that would be an improvement if he can hold it through the final sector. And he moves up to P6, so an excellent lap from Stavros there. His Silver Yoffer, he's a second down in the first sector, but of course he is 24th position, currently 3.3 off pole position, so we'll see where his second sector leaves him. There is a little bit more of a range of upgrade applications going on in this round. You can check that out at gpvwc.com/Superlights, or even click the Superlights link in competitions. You can go to the development tab, and you can have a little look at where the cars are at. And Road to Formula currently have the best overall car, but that includes like the pit crew repair, as Joffe does improve, moves up to 23rd. And here's McGorgy out on track as well. And he's, look at that, 0.001 up on his own time through sector 1. So he has improved, but by fractions of a second. And coming through sector 2, let's see what he can do, whether he can improve his time. He has set, he's the only driver in the 28s currently, so he has set a very competitive lap time so far. Let's see what he can do. Yep, that's not an improvement. He does have enough time for. He does have enough time for one more run. Actually, easily has enough time for one more run. So it's worth him waiting actually at this point for the track to rub it in. Dylan Platt's moved up to P2. That's a good lap time from Dylan. We know he's fast, and actually he's been driving very well this season. His Herlock trying to usurp him again, and actually Herlock's done a very good couple of sectors. He's less than 2/10 off McGorgy. This could move him up to P2. So he crosses the line, and he does. 0.283 off pole, but a very competitive lap time from Herlock. Duval is aborting this lap. Looks a little bit off the pace, considering his previous season form. Here's Christian Pascal, who I believe is. Now you'll have to help me who he's standing in for here, Szymon. But he's standing in this round, and he crosses the line and is P7. Here's Mikhail Francesconi. He crosses the line. He is P12 currently. It's been Lahu, hasn't it, in the other red arrow? So Pascal's the new primary, I'm hearing in my ear. So that's actually a permanent change there. Here's Cas Riefeld, who crosses the line, doesn't improve his position. I believe he improved his lap time there. He moves to P12. And we've got Flavio Zongoli, who's P14. That's a decent lap for him. Good job by Flavio there for HG Esports. Got on track. Gus Sonneveld for TTF, who always seem to have about 18,000 drivers per season. And, Gies Sonneveld. And Gies is coming through the last couple of corners now. I was fooled by the text on the screen. It does look like GU. Actually G-I-N-J. So Gies Sonneveld coming through the final corner. And a 30.8 moves him to, in fact, moves him to P18. Michal Galka, who is fast on his day, wasn't particularly impressive with how he retired, in my opinion, from Jeddah. Let's see what he can do. He's quite a long way down on this lap, and he's not going to get another lap, and so hopefully he's got fuel for another lap if he continues, but he will not be able to go back out on track, I don't believe, and set another lap time. He's not going to have enough time. So here's McGorgy on his outlap. He has left it till the last possible minute. I really don't think he's going to be troubled. It's almost 3/10 between him and Herlock. So McGorgy once again looking like a shoe-in for pole, but you never really know in GPV. Someone could pull a lap out of absolutely nowhere. I'm going to look to see who was out on track and setting a lap time. No one currently, actually. Everyone's sort of leaving their last run till now. McGorgy coming through this banked hairpin. He has absolutely been the man to beat this season. I believe he's had pole at every round. He's been very fast. When he's finished, he's been first or second. It's been very dominant, and he was leading Jeddah, Saudi Arabia last round. Very unfortunate to suffer an internet disconnection, which is the last thing in the world that I would wish on anyone. He didn't or wasn't he? Either way, DNF for McGorgy at the last round. So I'd like to watch McGorgy's lap all the way on board if we can, because he is a very rapid driver, very smooth, chooses some interesting lines sometimes, but very, very smooth when he does them. So We'll watch him as he comes barreling towards T1, over 300 kilometers an hour on his dash. Gets it into the apex very nicely. The car kind of lifts the inside wheel, once again gets the apex of turn 2. Nice and tidy through here. You just want to set yourself up for the right-hander and get a good exit onto the short chute towards the left-hander. That was very clean and tidy from McGorgy. Was it fast? Let's see. Yes, it was. Almost a 10th up as he hugs the inside. A couple of lines here. You can compromise the right-hander a little bit. And he got a snatch of oversteer on the exit, so that will have lost him a little bit of time as he comes towards the banked hairpin here. Brakes super late. Will he get it back to the apex for the exit? He almost does. That was an excellent exit actually in the end. Through the flat out Schumacher. This is nothing to worry about here. And then up towards the left-hander. 285 clicks on the steering wheel. Gets the apex nicely. Uses all of the runoff on the exit. Then into the right-hander. Again using the camber nicely. All the way to the outside of the track. He's still up, look. So McGorgy on an absolute flyer. This is going to be an excellent lap time. Coming towards the chicane now. He's just going to spot his braking zone. Get the apex slightly wide of the curb. That would have cost him a fraction of time, but it was nice and smooth, not too much bouncing around. Into the apex on the final corner. The rear tyre is screaming enough as he comes through the final corner, and it's a 28.768 from McGorgy, and that is definitely pole position as he does a 360 in celebration. Menno Klunt is a stand-in driver and crosses the line for a 30.536. That's P15 for Menno, probably a last-minute one knowing him. But McGorgy, stunning lap time. Platt P2, Joseph Herlock P3. We'll look at all the times now. What a lap from McGorgy that was. Almost half a second on his rivals. Just a couple of small mistakes, but nothing major. Managed to carry the momentum. And he takes pole position from Platt in the TR Geeks Energy car. Joseph Herlock in 3rd position for Red Arrow. Sandeep Singh 4th for Rotor Formula. That's, I believe, his best qualifying to date. Heiger Poom in the TR Geeks sister car of Platt in P5. Mark Schluter for TX3, 6th ahead of his teammate Ragusa in 7th position. Ragusa closest to McGorgy in the championship of the drivers that are racing today. He'll look to improve his position. Musaidis P8 for Valley Esports. Liam Duval will be a little disappointed to be in P9 for Fusion, but he's a very good racer, so we'll see what he can do. And Christian Pasquale debuting for Red Arrow this season, I believe, but he's certainly taking over as permanent driver there. Jerry Van Bussel in P11 for Drag. Alexander Ragosa for Gallery in P12. Michael Francesconi in 13th position ahead of Flavio Zongoli. Menno Klunt, Cas Riefveld, Gies Sonneveld, Tom van der Voort in 18th position. People are dropping out. Remco de Zeu in 20th position, I believe. Let's have a little look. Lorenzo Capolini 21st, Silva Joffer 22nd, Dominique Korchevin in 23rd, Kilian Goit 24th, and Michel Galka didn't set a lap time. I believe he is going to start from the pit lane. That was qualifying, and was a really good lap from McGorgy. And he'll be looking forward to watching that back, I'd imagine, from the broadcast point of view. That was a really, really good lap, and he deserves pole position once again. Platt alongside him on the front row will be looking to make an electric start if he can. But we head into warm-up now, and the top 10 will start on the tyres they qualified on, which for all of them was the soft. So we'll watch for them to potentially gain ground early on and then potentially lose ground as the tyres degrade a little to the medium and hard runners. But the tyres this season very, very well balanced in terms of strategy over a whole race. We've seen multiple different strategies work and sort of come together at the end of the race. And I'm looking forward to that. So this track, not particularly hard on tyres, I'm told. It should be another 2-stop. It's just whether you go soft, medium, which I suspect the front guys, or at least McGorgy, will try to do. But certainly soft, medium, hard is an option. We've seen soft, medium, soft work for TX3. And of course, those starting outside the top 10 will think about a one-stopper, either going hard, medium, or medium, hard. So plenty of strategies on on offer, plenty of options for the drivers to pick from, and I'm certainly looking forward to this one, and I hope you guys are too. I'm going to take a 2-minute break. Feel free to leave the cars going on around the track, Szymon. To be honest, it's quite nice to watch them just go around. In 2 minutes, I will be right back. I am back, and I'm looking forward very much to this race. Please do let me know in the YouTube comments and the YouTube chat exactly where you think, or who you think will be where. It's an easy prediction for the win, but never do know. And of course, last time out, Owen did suffer technical difficulties, and he hasn't won every round that he's finished the race in this season. Of course, that a fairly interesting Bahrain race where about 4 drivers could have won that race. The exception to the McGorgy rule. So I am very interested in seeing exactly where everyone going to end up. Watching one of the red arrows circulating now. This track certainly looks quite impressive from the track cameras, certainly in the dry weather that we're expecting today. So yeah, I would say let's have a little look at the YouTube chat, see what people were saying. I think Liam will win, says Tom Parker. That's a brave call. Very brave call. Anyone else fancy a prediction? Do get in touch. If you guys want to follow on with the live timing as well, you can go to www.race-view.com and select the GPVWC sim racing server. You can have a little look, see what people are doing lap time wise and position wise, where they're actually where they are. Of course, we've got our own timing tower on the actual broadcast as well, which you can follow along with. And I am joined by Szymon Frelik. You can't hear him, but I can. He's been working very hard along with some of the other members of staff on the broadcast quality, and I think you guys will all agree that we are in a good position in terms of how good the broadcasts are these days. So it's all the hard work of the team behind the scenes does not go unnoticed, and Szymon working away at the cameras tonight. Thank you very much. Always good to have you here. So Joseph Herlock for Red Arrow, we're just watching him circulate. Very unfortunate last round to disconnect on the formation lap. He'll be looking to make amends for that, and he's once again shown he's quick in qualifying. P3 on the grid for him, quite as good as the last round, but that car's pretty decent. If you wanted to keep in touch with the upgrades, it's actually in terms of car performance on paper ever so slightly better than the Road to Formula car in terms of percentage points of upgrades. It's an interesting way we do things here at GPVWC with the behind the scenes upgrading that we do. Yeah, he's driving a very competitive car. It's just whether or not he is going to sustain that pace in the race. We'll see what happens. Who else have we got on track? Let's have a little look at Sandeep Singh and the other Road to Formula car. So he's currently P2 in warm-up, so he may have slightly better race pace than he had in qualifying. McGorgy is our pace setter, as I'm sure you can anticipate, but seeing only half a tenth off his race pace in warm-up. So this is, I mean, obviously the drivers will be using race fuel and practicing for the start of the race. I'd anticipate a few of them will do some practice starts, make sure that they know what they're doing with the clutch. Basically, don't leave it connected and don't stall. It's quite simple, really, actually. But certainly sometimes drivers do stall on the grid. Certainly I've done it myself. Formula Sprint 2 last season at Monza. It is possible to do. The anti-stall kicks in. It's an absolute nightmare. You're absolutely stranded. So Sandeep Singh boxes, I'd imagine we go back out on a fresh set of tyres and do some race start practice. Possibly also practicing his pit entry as well, which is a nice last minute thing that people like to do. Is Ragusa, and he, as I was mentioning, is 26 points back of McGorgy in the championship, so he is his closest competitor. Driving for TX3, who are indeed very much the sort of closest rivals to Road to Formula. Terms of pace. 2 minutes 59 seconds left of warm-up. Let's have a look at the YouTube chat. We've got some interesting predictions. Liam is getting top 5, says Ruben Macheda. Yeah, I could see that happening. Herlock P2. I hope Mark will finish on the podium. Yeah, definitely a possibility. We've got a... I reckon it'll be a banger of a race for second, says Tom Parker. And then he says something I can't repeat, but he's I think he's exactly right. I think it will be a banger of a race for second position. It's one of them. It's one of those fields where anything can happen, and I think it probably will. To quote Murray Walker. It's Damien Kardash. He'll be disappointed with qualifying in the Gallery 82. Being outside of the top 10 is not exactly where you want to be, but sometimes can give you that strategy alternate strategy, where you start on the mediums or the hards. So he is going to look to do a different strategy to everyone else from there, hopefully make up positions based on that ability, although the soft tyres are pretty good, so I'm told, around here. Not quite the qualifying tyre we've seen previously, so expect people to be in around lap 12 on the soft, sort of 12 onwards, I'm told. But Kardash, look, he's practicing on medium, so I'd imagine he's going to start the race on mediums, and then you can choose, depending on how far the mediums go, whether he's going to switch to a one-stop or go with a two-stop at the counter strat, so medium soft or medium hard soft, or even just medium hard, which is actually a pretty good strat for Superlights. Pit lane is reasonably long here. You've got that entry through the final corner that's really tight, and it seems like an age that you're on the pit limiter. Different to the car's attitude through that chicane is interesting. Some cars definitely set up a little softer than others. Shooter able to run the curbs a lot better than the TL Geeks in front of him. So what was that? Is that like Horshavin or something like that? Yeah, it is. So yeah, it's all about compromise. You want the high speed stability that the springs running them stiffer gives you around here. There is a lot of medium and high speed corners, but you do want to be able to run relatively soft that chicane in the first sector. So a big compromise at this particular track. It's very much like an old school layout with a lot of bumps, and you want the suspension nice and supple for those. If you look at this section here, plenty of curbs, plenty of elevation changes. You want it supple, and then of course you've got the medium high speed chicanes, like through sector 2, that you want the high spring rates for. So Mellow Clunt coming through one of those medium speed sections here. This is where you want a little bit more spring stability and change of direction, but you're just not going to get it if you run too soft. So plenty of stuff to think about setup wise. Of course, their setups are all locked in now that they're in Parc Fermé. Szymon Frelik, at least a 20-second win for own. Do you reckon, Szymon? Maybe he said it. He is very good, Owen. There is no denying that whatsoever, and probably should be in Super League by now, since he was competing with Jake and Tom, who are topping the championship in Super League. Jake Danahan and Tom Stevens, I should say, who are topping the Super League Championship right now. He was right there with them in FS1 last season. Those two went to Super League. Owen in Super League Lights, and has certainly proved he's competitive in Super League. Finished on the podium at Baku, only behind Luke McGuire and Jake Danahan. So definitely could move up, and I think we'll see him here next season. Well, see him in the Super League next season, I should say. But for now, he has a championship to win in Super Lights, and I think we can probably start talking about the championship. We're a third of the way through the season after this race, or over a third of the way through the season. That's get a bit serious in the middle part of the season. So definitely stuff to talk about, but that's a long way in the future after the race. Warm-up is finished now. I can tell you that McGorgy was the fastest in that session, followed by Sandeep Singh and then Ragusa. So if I was a betting man, that would be my podium, probably in that order as well, to be fair. But we'll see what happens. And they start gridding up now, and I'll take you back through the grid in case you've forgotten it from the end of the qualifying session. Hopefully, fingers crossed, no one has disconnects for this round, and certainly there's two drivers in the top three. We'll be hoping for that. McGorgy and Herlock both suffering that fate last time out. As they pull away on the formation lap, we're looking at the grid order now, and Owen McGorgy is P1, and he has got Dylan Platt alongside him, with Herlock for Red Arrow in P3, Sandeep Singh P4 for Road to Formula. Hygo Poom P5 for TR Geeks, with Mark Schluter deputising for Gobby in P6, Giuseppe Ragusa in P7, and Stavros Moussaidis in 8th position. Liam Duval 9th place with Christian Pascal 10th place for Red Arrow. Jerry Van Bussel for Dreig Racing in 11th position, and Alexander Ragosa for Gallery 82 in 12th. Michael Francesconi and Flavio Zongoli in P13 and 14, with Damien Kardash 15th and Menno Klont alongside him in P16. 17th position Kaz Rietveld and Gies Sonneveld in 18th position for TTF. Dreig's other driver Tom van der Voort in 19th position, with Renko Dedeo in 20th position. Lorenzo Capolini for HG in 21st, and Silver Joffer alongside him in 22nd. Then we have the Team Balash Esports teammates of Dominique Korshavin and Kilian Keat, 24th place. Michal Galka in P25, and we're missing one driver this round. Not sure who that is. I believe it's the other P. Go on, Shimon. Yeah, the other PZs, whoever that would have been. Coming through the final sector now then, everyone looking to warm their brakes. It's a big braking zone into turn 1 this time out, and it's quite a long run as well. So we could see some shenanigans, particularly because the apex does pinch the cars somewhat. We will see. And McGorgy, nice slow formation lap this time round. Definitely going to want to warm his brakes. See the top 10 on softs, no one outside on the soft tyre. Interesting. Van Bussel and Ragosa on the mediums. Keep an eye out for Francesconi on the hards. He's going to be able to run a long way into this race, and he may end up leading at some point as a result of that. Keep an eye out for him. Especially if he has a good start, or there's some shenanigans ahead, he can definitely make up some positions. Kardash lining himself up on the grid, and Galka has chosen to start from the track, so he lines up, and we are going to wait for the red lights, which are going to come on and then go out again, which will signal the race start. And we're just waiting for that to happen. McGorgy on the right, Platt on the left, and Herlock and Sandeep Singh behind, as McGorgy gets a good jump away from the line. In fact, he's got an excellent start this time round. Platt has to fall in behind him to cover off Herlock's good start, but he's had some slipstream benefit, and Platt's going round the outside of McGorgy here. Now McGorgy has to know he's still there. Is he going to cut across and take the lead? He is. So Platt gave it a good go, but McGorgy sticks there. We've got a sideways G82, but no one's actually spun round on the first corner. So far, so good. A little bit of contact further back. That's Michael Francesconi in the TG Racing car. But everyone makes it through the first couple of corners, and that is a minor miracle in this series. Jared Van Bussel, look, on the outside of one of the Gary 82s. That's Damien Kardash with Musaidis, I think that is, getting involved as well. And Van Bussel, P11, he has had a decent start. And the first driver not on the hard tyres. Kaz Riepelt's had a great start as well. He's up to P13 and challenging away with Kardash for P12. But further forward, it is McGorgy who leads from Platt and Herlock. So it's status quo at the very front of the field. Here's Liam de Val, we're watching as we come through the final sector. And Remco de Veo has lost a couple of positions at the start, I believe. Galka's up to P21, by the way, so he's had a great start. And further back, Capolini and Zongoli. Certainly Zongoli was further up the field than that. Rietveld going up the inside here into P13, bouncing across the curbs is Van der Voort, and shoves Rietveld wide. The two Dutchmen making contact through the chicane. Rietveld shouldn't or wouldn't be best pleased with that, I'd imagine. And back down to 16th place he goes. But as the leaders cross the line, McGorgy from Platt, he's got a 1 second lead already. An absolutely lightning first lap once again from McGorgy, and he's learnt from previous rounds. As down the inside goes Van der Voort Francesconi goes down the inside of Van der Voort there into turn one, but it's Van der Voort who has that position, and Rietveld battling away there side by side with Francesconi, and he's not been given much racing room actually on this opening couple of laps, has Rietveld, but Francesconi survives. He's P15 and battling away for the lower end of the points positions, but of course long way to go in this race. De Val is up to P7, so he's made some positions up as Guy Sonneveld lines up a move looking to demote Rietveld once again, and Rietveld's 17th position. He's going to be under a threat from Silva Joffer and the other DTF. Joffer wisely chooses to back out. It's a very fast section of track here. But Rietveld certainly lost a lot of positions towards the end of that first lap. That side-by-side contact with Van der Voort not doing him any favours at all. Now the gap to the leader is just over a second as they came across the timer line for Sector 2. And he is stretching his lead, as Owen, from Dylan Platt. He's looking to get outside of DRS, which starts now as they begin the next lap, and McGorgy does set the fastest lap of the race by half a second, by the way, from Dylan Platt. He's I think he's probably used a little bit of push to pass, make sure he's outside of that window. We've seen him do that before, and Platt certainly is outside of the DRS window, so unable to stay with McGorgy as Dezeo and Galka go side by side into the first corner. Dezeo just hangs on to that one. There was a bit of contact with the side pod of Galka, but Galka's made up a good few positions here, you know, and up to P21 for Michel Galka. His men and Clont who standing in at TG for Christian Francesconi, I believe, and he is, he's in 19th position, so certainly some work to do for Clont. And here is Van der Voort. He is ahead. Yeah, he's ahead of Francesconi. We saw that, but Van der Voort's dropped off the back of Kardash and Ragosa in 12th and 13th position. Further forward, there's a little battle brewing. I think De Val is trying to get within a second of Sandeep Singh, and Singh's desperately trying to hang on to the back of the TX3 car of Mark Schluter. I don't know if Singh has got DRS on that back straight. It certainly looked like, to me, he dropped back a little bit of Schluter, and Musaidis is right there actually with De Val. So as they go onto the pit straight, that'll be an interesting one to watch. Further back, look, Rietveld still in the wars, and he's going to be under threat from the car behind. Is that Clont? It is Clont behind him, yeah. So as they come onto the start-finish straight. Now, there will be some DRS trains forming. Further forward, look, they're side by side as they go into turn 1. And Van der Voort, I think there was some dust kicked up there. I don't know who was. It looked like, yeah, Francesconi's run wide, look. So, definitely Francesconi losing out there. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1 as well. I don't see anyone. Oh, it's Zongoli, look, is dropping back from the back of the field. So something's happened there. And Capellini as well in amongst that. Let's have a little look at the replay. Thank you, Szymon. So here's Francesconi. He went right to the inside of the track. Was he squeezed all the way there? Oh my goodness. That was ambitious. Only just got it stopped before having to do a 3-point turn. That was a little late on the moves there. Zongoli, who qualified better than this and is now back to 25th. What happened here? Is this that is an equally ambitious. That's shocking. Look at that. That's so poor. I mean, his teammates lost his front wing as well. He was never making that. He was about 5 car lengths back. So Zongoli trying to send it down the inside, not working. And now both of the teammates for HD Esports at the very back of the field, and one needs to pit for a front wing. So not the best. Now look, Herlock has got DRS on Dylan Platt. He's going to look at lining up to make a move. Thinking better of it this time round, and he was closer, by the way, than Zongoli was, as Schluter is right there with Haigapoom, and they have dropped Singh. You know, Singh is over a second back of these guys, so trying to work together they are to stay in touch with Dylan Platt in P2. But Magorgi has definitely gapped these guys, and he is, yeah, he's a good 3 or 4 tenths a lap faster right now. Here comes Kaz Riedfeld, who we've spent a lot of time watching so far this race, and he is 18th currently, so he's moved up a position. Francesconi once again in the wars here with Tom van der Voort, and Van der Voort is holding on to that position, but here comes Francesconi down the inside. This is an overtaking opportunity. Oh, he breaks very late, Van der Voort. They're going to go side by side on the exit. And right round the outside they go, and this is who backs out here. It is Van der Voort who lifts off, chooses wisely. It's absolutely flat through there, and yeah, that's a good idea. Here's Herlock on Dylan Platt. I think Herlock is just happy to sit in Platt, Slipstream and DRS for now, not use any push to pass, try and maintain or increase the gap to P4 behind them. But you can see how spread out the field is. There's already going to be pit stop gaps available for the leaders in the next couple of laps. We're only on lap 6. They're already going to be able to come out in P15, 16 very, very soon. So, and that would be a nice big gap. So I suspect they'll use that as an opportunity. It is 49 laps this race, so plenty of time for things to go wrong. But of course, lap 12 onwards, I would expect to see these soft runs in. Let's have a little look at what Szymon has lined up for us here. So we've got Remco de Zeu in 24th position for Fusion, and he's got Galka in front of him, hasn't he? So, ooh, Remco! Big loss of traction there. These are tricky cars to drive. Lovely view of the fence there. I wonder if he... yeah. Okay. A little early for that Remco, I would have said, but it is frustrating. I do understand. Capellini also, having lost his front wing, has decided he doesn't want to continue either, as we see Herlock maintaining his gap to Platt. But they are dropping back from the leader. And oh goodness, what's going on here? So Riedfeldt's through past Van der Voort, who was slow for some... oh goodness, who's in the wall there? Is that Francesconi? It is Francesconi, and Francesconi is another retirement. So the first TG out, only Menno Klont left. Not sure what happened. I'm sure we'll soon find out, but I imagine it was traction related. Very, very similar. So here's Herlock again. But again, I think he's not looking to make a move yet, as Schluter definitely is. Sends one up the inside of Poom, who gives him loads of racing room. Well done, Heigo. That was sensible. And Schluter obviously having better pace, and Singh is catching them actually quite fast. They've got to be a little bit careful they don't get gobbled up by the Englishman Sandeep Singh. And we've got Menno Klont here 17th position. He's coming through T1. And of course his teammate, as we just saw in the wars. Let's see what happened to Michael Francesconi. Okay, so what happens? Unable to hold it, just okay. I feel like that was about 4 accidents in one. I don't know quite how he didn't manage to keep that on track. And then, so what happened here to Van Bussel? Oh, sorry, Van der Voort. Oh, lost of traction on the exit of the corner. Very, very similar. We've seen that all season, actually. We saw quite a lot at Australia. So this is Francis. How did he manage to put it in the wall from there? Lovely fence as well. Clearly thinks that's the right camera. It isn't. So yeah, so Francesconi unable to keep out the wall, and he's in the retirement now. So only 22 guys left. Stavros Marzaidis in P8, we were just watching him, is Kaz Rietveld in 16th position, standing in for my guys at this round. Rietveld is on the back of Silver Joffer. So ahead of Joffer is Geet Sonneveld. So both of those guys. What's going on here? We've got Ragusa in P8. We've got Leon Duval going up the inside and reclaiming 8th position. Oh, and he's been tagged from behind. Look, Pascal tagged him there. Oh, goodness. Oh, my God. I do love a dangerous rejoin. That was interesting. What happened there? That was... we missed the sort of first bit of that. Obviously, Duval was battling away with him somehow. And then Ragusa just got tapped by Pascal, and around he went. Here's Harshavin. He's behind Van der Voort, who I believe has been kind of in the wars this race. And he's defending extremely hard from Dominique. And through goes Galka. Thank you very much, he says. I'll take your 19th position. Although Harshavin is coming back at him as they head towards the hairpin. It doesn't matter. Let's have a look at what happened. So, this is Dean Francesconi's accident. We want to see what happened here. Yes, here we go. So Ragusa, by the way, is currently in 12th position, so something else has happened here. Ooh, big sideways moment for Duval. So this is what happened then. So Duval full locked up, and then on the outside of the track goes Ragusa on the dirty stuff. I don't really know what happened. Yeah, not the best driving from Pascal there. You could see that was going to Constantina, and Ragusa the unfortunate victim there. And now, of course, Ragusa is 12th position, so a lot of time lost there, really. He's lost 6 to 7 seconds, yeah, 6 to 7 seconds there. As Van Bussel and Pascal are swapping positions on the timing board. We've jumped to them now. Christian, what is your problem, mate? The second time he's slammed into the back of someone at that corner. Fancy dropping back a bit? Perhaps allowing for that? I know it's your debut, but second time in as many laps that he's hit the back of someone in T2. He's lucky to still have his front wing. And Joey Van Bussel just minding his own business there. And, well, was he or not? Okay, so Van Bussel is behind. He's probably on the push to pass button here. Full send into T1. Nice and late on the brake. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Bit deep into the corner. So Pascal comes back at him on the exit. And again, so nice. Yeah, that's fine. That's all fine. And then as they head into this corner, why? Why just run into the back of someone like that? It's brain dead, frankly. Just going to cause damage to both drivers. Here's Zongoli in 22nd position, who I don't know if he knows how the brake pedal works exactly. Runs wide and spins, and yeah. Anyway, we are now seeing the first of the pitters. So Dylan Platt comes in from 4th. Well, he's actually he's now in 6th. He's dropping down the order. Of course, he's dropping down the order. He's in the pit lane, but he's followed in by Herlock, and Singh's in as well. Look, so Singh pits at the same time. Dylan Platt gets away nicely. He's not going to be troubled by Sandeep Singh, and he's trying to undercut and you know, get as close to McGorgy as he can. The gap wasn't that big, you know. It was only a few seconds. So this could get him in DRS range, which he badly needs, as Galka and Horshavin swapping positions. Lap 10 is quite early, I would say, to get off those softs. I was expecting to last till lap 12, based on some of the data I have. But nevertheless, lap 10 for some guys, they wanted to do a bit of an undercut here. And be interesting to see what tyre they come back out on. So we'll keep an eye on that. Where indeed has Platt come out? So they've gone hard. And he's out in P11 as well, Platt, with a nice gap in front of him. So keep an eye on that. That's an interesting call. So maybe the tyres in Superlights not lasting as much as I... Oh, that's a late dive for the pit lane. I don't know if Schluter actually made it then. He did. So Schluter, just out the corner of my eye then, he just dived to the pit lane. Did just get into the pit lane in time. So McGorgy has had enough of those tyres. They're not lasting as much as I thought they would. So this could be a hard tyre for McGorgy as well. If he goes medium, then he's probably got... Yeah, so hard tyres. You see the white-walled tyre on McGorgy's car. He pulls out of the pit lane now. Now the question is, how much of an undercut did Platt have? I mean, it's not enough to get near McGorgy, and that's sensible for McGorgy to cover that off. It's not long before Platt would have caught him, I would have said. Platt setting significantly better sector times than McGorgy on that lap, of course, on the brand new tyres. So the tyres did indeed die on lap 10-11. So now it's hard. So this is interesting. So is anyone going to gamble on mediums? Ragusa's still out on track, as is Musaidis, as is Christian Pascal. He's looking for his next victim to smash on the back. He's in P3 currently, and he's got Van Bussel in front of him. So these guys kind of a bit out of sync. Van Bussel, anyway, is on the medium tyre, so he's a bit out of sync with these guys who are going to catch him shortly. McGorgy is, how far? He's saying he's in the pit. We know he's not. He's 7 seconds back. Yeah, there's been quite a nice gap actually that McGorgy's come out in. He's in pretty clear traffic, unlike Hugo Poom here, who is desperately trying to fight with Rietveld. But they, of course, on the hard tyre. So Rietveld started on the hard tyre. Poom has brand new and unable to make it stick through there. He wants to get by these guys as soon as possible, doesn't he? He's got Rietveld and Silver Joffe in front of him. This will be a full send on the push to pass button, I'd imagine. Here's Herlock and Platt then. So they are... So how far back are they? Oh my goodness, 5 seconds of McGorgy. I thought they'd be closer than that, you know. Zaidis pits from the lead. That looks like yellow to me, yellow sidewalls. So, and this is going to be tight. Oh, he survived Poom, but that's Rietveld in the wars again. I'd like to see exactly how that unfolded. It's a bit kind of, the camera angle kind of masked exactly what was happening there. You wait the replay. We'll see whether it happens or not. But Menno Klont here. Yeah, here we go. So, down into turn 1. We've got Silver Joffe defending. We've got... Is that Deval? It is Deval. Oh, that's by himself. He just hit... I think he just hit Joffe all by himself there. Look at this. So... Yeah. The Christian Pascal. Round he goes, and Rietveld unfortunately loses those positions. Here's another replay. We've got Platt and we've got Platt. Okay, so this is just replay connection wise. Okay, fine. So Platt's still in the race. Once again, scaring me. He did this at Australia. Went flying off the track and then reappeared on the track. Ragusa pits from what was the lead of the race, I believe. Coming out on the hard tyre also. So very much a hard tyre race this. As I wonder if they're... No, they can't get to the end from there, surely. Schluter in P7. So Schluter hasn't actually benefited all that much. Here's Poom and Deval battling away. And it's Stavros Moussaidis, who's just come out the pit lane on mediums, by the way. Oh, it's just had enough room from Duval then. And this is not an overtaking. No, that's not going to work. Yeah, you can't just send it down the inside there, but into the hairpin now we go. Moussaidis on the push to pass button. They might both be on the push to pass button here. Liam Duval, a little lock up it looked like to me, but makes the apex of the corner, squirreling their way out. Moussaidis wants to take advantage of these tyres that he's put on, these medium compound tyre, where he can. They're brand new. Duval's are 2 laps old. So can Moussaidis, who started on the soft tyre just like Duval did, make his way through, or will Duval hold him up until his tyres get better again? Van Bussel boxes. He was fighting away with Kardash for the lead. So Damon Kardash leads the race. He's on the medium tyre as Menno Klont is overtaken there by Christian Pascal. And Pascal moves up into 14th place. Side by side they go. And Platt has been overtaken, look, by Joseph Herlock. So Herlock moves through, says, I've had enough. I want to try and hunt down McGorgy. And they've got a 6-second gap to do that with. So definitely possible. But not a definite by any stretch of the imagination. Duval's P5 prediction from the YouTube chat not looking quite so likely. But we'll see what happens. Down into the left-right, we've got still got Duval ahead of Pullman and Moussaidis here. Plenty of time left in the race. We're not even a third of the way through here, so there's loads of time left as Singh is alongside Alexander Ragosa, who we know is can be aggressive on his day. Singh's not happy, he's wiggling about, don't know what he has to be angry about there particularly, didn't see anything untowards. Don't know if it happened before we switched to that particular camera angle. Sometimes I think Sandeep gets a little hot-headed unnecessarily, but he is in P7 and trying to make his way through past Ragosa, who's on old tyres and is perfectly entitled to be there, by the way. I think this will be game over now, though, as they head towards turn 1. Singh goes through. Fresh tyres for him. Oh, sorry, we're looking at McGorgy. Give me the other two cars and you switched. My bad. So McGorgy takes the lead from Cardiff. That was always going to happen. Here is Poom, and we have. Okay, so Poom is going to be overtaken by Moussaidis. Okay, here we go. So Moussaidis finally gets by on those medium tyres. I've lost the plot briefly, but we're back in the room. So Moussaidis up into 10th place. Guy Sonneveld in front of him in 9th place. You can see the softs not popular today at all. I wonder if the higher temperatures have played a part here, as Moussaidis throws it up the inside on Guy Sonneveld and takes that 9th position away. Of course, new tyres, new mediums versus very wobbly old rears on that TTF car, and Poom is going to go flying by as well, not wanting to lose any time at all to Guy Sonneveld. So he moves up into the top 10, Poom. So of the guys who started the race on, of the guys who have yet to pit, we have Kardash and Ragosa, who look like they're trying to do a one-stop to me, based on the fact that they've not boxed since lap 15. But Kardash has had enough. That would indicate to me that the hards could only probably do 20-21 laps, based on what's happened previously this season. I doubt they'll get to the end from there. So they'll probably stick a set of hards on and then maybe mediums at the end, in order to use the 2 different tyre compounds that's mandatory. Or, well, you have to use 2 different tyre compounds. It doesn't matter which 2, but it's mandatory to do so. So that's the plan. That's what they're doing. So they're going to hard and then probably medium again towards the end of the race. Moussaidis coming down into turn 1 takes the position away from Liam Duval, who is not really liking those tyres very much at all. I do wonder if he's struggled to get the laps under his belt this time round. Here's Michel Galka, and that must be Menno Klont, because it's the only TG driver left in this race. And Klont moves his way past and into 15th position, which is of course points. Schluter is an interesting driver for me. He's not that far back of Platt and Herlock. He is on mediums, so he's gone for a different strategy to everyone else. In fact, literally everyone else is on hards. If they in fact, Muzaidis, of course, is on mediums as well. So it's Muzaidis and Schluter to watch out for. They're on the counter strategy. Charles Galka yet to box. We're going to watch something else happen to Cas Rietveld. I'd be surprised if he's got all the parts on his car by the end of this race. What is it about that corner? What makes people smash other people back? That's not the first time we've seen. That's like the 5th time we've seen that this race. What is it about that corner that makes people want to do that? So Rietveld now deciding that he doesn't like his front wing very much and wants it bent in a different way, and losing time because of it. Don't get it. Don't get it at all. Is Liam de Waal fighting back against Muzaidis? Of course, Muzaidis' mediums will start to drop off, and de Waal's hards will come back in. So it'll be interesting to see if those hard tyres and the mediums on Muzaidis are at that crossover point yet. We're only, what are we, 7 laps? 5 laps for Muzaidis into his stint, 7 laps for de Waal. I would say de Waal probably is going to be at that crossover point fairly shortly. He certainly looks like he's closing in on Stavros. Galka finally gets rid of his mediums. Can he get to the end from there? That's a long way to go on hards. He's going to give it a go, I would say. It's probably his only opportunity for points. As Karshavin and who we've got here, is that Sonneveld? It is. Battling away. Does Sonneveld manage to get through that corner without tagging the back of someone? It must be possible. Come towards the left-right, and behind them is Tom van der Voort, who's been up and down the field like a bit of a yo-yo. What is going on? Keith Sonneveld, I was just praising him. Different corner, bang. Now he loses time, presumably damages both cars, and is down to 19th. Very strange. Very, very strange. I've not seen that all season, and we've seen it multiple times this race, where for whatever reason the car in front is slower than anticipated in the apex of the corner. De Waal, I think he's just sitting there in DRS. Oh, very sideways in the corner of my screen, and through goes de Waal. Muzaidis, all kinds of sideways in turn 1. Now he throws it up the inside of de Waal. Bang, into the side pod goes the Greek, and into turn 3 they go still side by side. They're a bit more clean through there. De Waal's on the inside, Muzaidis still on the outside, and Muzaidis takes it. You do get all of the exit rubber there. De Waal, oh, he's switching back and forth. It's not really an overtaking opportunity here. But he's wanting to line him up into the hairpin. He knows Muzaidis' tyres will be nice and warm by now. Let's have a little look at this replay of Muzaidis. This is all kinds of locked up. Look at the opposite lock he gets here as he turns in full beans all the way on the lock stops, and those will be some toasty rears. That is never going to work. That was a bit aggressive, I would say. Bit of a dive bomb, but they were nice and clean through 3 and 4, and much more civilized on the exit here. But if we go back to we've got another replay. We've got Kilian Guit, and this is the fast left right, the Schumacher S's. Bit difficult to get this wrong. Apparently not. That's going to be him out of the race. That's a full-on definite retirement for Guit. He's continuing. Okay. Well, he'll be in the pit for about 18 years trying to fix that. De Waal now, so he's still behind Muzaidis. That wasn't even an excitement for a lap or two. But yeah, so de Waal absolutely trying to steal that position away. So Muzaidis gets his braking right this time round. Very lucky not to spin the car, actually. He was full lock, you know, all the way on the lock stops. Just got it under control, but his tyres will have suffered a lot. Trust me on that one. These cars do not like to be sent sideways. Clont in the box, and he started the race on hards. He's gone to another set of hard tyres, so he will definitely have to box again. He's looking to go to lap 38. On this basis, he will then pit for softs, I'd imagine, to the end of the race, which is a good strategy. It works perfectly fine. It's the opposite to to what the leaders are doing. Just a quick tab on the leaders. So slowly, Gorgie is pulling away. It's a 10th or so a lap. Not much more than that, to be honest. And Herlock definitely keeping him in range. 33.7s we've got. In fact, last couple of laps, Herlock has been ever so slightly faster. So it's only the last lap that Gorgie was faster. I didn't read the times the right way around. I've got a lot to do here. So it is actually Herlock who's got slightly better pace at the moment, although Gorgie's just turned it on that lap, has gone 4/10 faster than Herlock. Here's Schluter, who is right there. Oh, this is a brave move. Platt gives him room. Beautiful driving from both of them. They're going to go side by side. We know there's no grip on the outside of this corner, so Platt should be able to slot back in, and he does. That was great driving. They left each other just enough room, and right on the limit of adhesion through there. Well done, guys. Here's Kardash. Can that be repeated with the other TX3? It certainly can. And Kardash, who has box, does he? But yes, he does. So he's on 4-lap old hards. Very tight as they come through turn 3. He's trying to get the switch back now on, so who's that? Ragusa, who's been in the wars a little bit today, but Pascal has blown past him, presumably a bit of push to pass. That move is done, and into 11th place goes Christian Pascal. He's now right on the back of Giuseppe Ragusa. Can Pascal find a way through? Ragusa not on his usual form, you would say, this round, and Pascal's first race for Red Arrow this season, going quite well actually in the end. He's been in the wars a little bit, a couple of tippy tappies with other drivers, but he's going to be definitely fighting for points today. Schluter then, so this time round he's nice and close with Platt. That front right of his looking a little angry, you know, in terms of wear. He's of course on the medium tyres, and he's definitely on push to pass. He's definitely on DRS. Platt's gone defensive this time round, so Schluter picking the outside line. Can he get an overlap, or is Platt going to cover him off? He covers him off, left the door open, but Schluter didn't want it, and doesn't have the key yet to unlock it. Here comes Musaidis on Duval then. This one's a tasty battle. These two definitely gone past the crossover now. Duval sensing that the hards are better, and he is into P6. A little wide. Stavros throws it on the inside, but Duval actually very carefully squeezed him to the apex. That was good driving from Leon Duval, who's unnecessarily weaving from left to right on the track there. Why is it when I praise someone they do something silly? What's the point? Like, what's he doing there, weaving from white line to white line? Is he trying to break the toe, or just a bit unhappy? Here's Tom van der Voort, presumably going to lose it under traction, and he does. Round he goes in the dry racing car. Not been a best race for Tom van der Voort. He's outside the points in P19 for Drag. Here's Christian Pascal then, right up the back of Ragusa. Hopefully not right up the back like he has been this race. Giuseppe in front of him, looking like he's just a bit out of form this race. I don't know if it's practice-wise or if he's just on the hards, and he hasn't really been on the hards this season. Maybe he just doesn't like the way they feel. Difficult to say. Musaidis still there with Liam Duval. You know, these two are going to battle away for a few more laps yet. And here comes Schluter then. This time he throws up a bit more. There is contact this time. Platt on the outside then. And Schluter looks like he's got more of an overlap this time, so he's going to be able to hang it round the outside. Can Platt hold it? No. Schluter takes the position. Good move in the end. Bit of contact in T1, but it opened the door, and he did have the key this time round. Here's Musaidis. And we've dropped back to Kardash, who's got Pascal ahead of him. It's all going on. Pascal then, that's missing the apex there, Christian. You've got to be a bit better than that if you want to stay with Giuseppe Ragusa, who's very, very talented. So here's the move from Schluter. It was a long way back, actually. Look at the gap. He is closing, but that's a long way back to throw it down the inside. Only just okay, I would say. Very tight. And then Platt. Yeah, that's okay. We're all right with that. In fact, Platt got a bit squirrely on the exits. That's why Schluter was able to take the position, but that's okay. That was a bit more firm driving from Schluter. Firm but fair, right on the line, and takes that position, moves into the podium positions. Here's Jerry Van Bussel in P8 for Drag, doing his who was wide then? That was presumably, yes, Musaidis, thank you, Szymon. And he's lost touch there with Liam Duval. His tyres must be on the close anyway, to the limit of what they can do. Well, I'd say that they've only done 10 laps actually. Keep thinking we're further through this race than we. Van Bussel, come back! Oh no! Don't lose your front wing. That would have been the longest few seconds of his life, Van Bussel. There was nothing he can do. Round he went, and about 4 seconds later his front wing goes. Thankfully not too far from the pit lane, but that's his strategy scuppered. And if he wants to get any point to this race at all, he's going to have to try and go to the end. He's going to hope he's not got too much suspension damage and it doesn't cost him too much. Let's have a little look at the replay here. So Muzayidis, goodness, yeah, he was in, not too bad though. He kept the throttle pretty much planted. So what happened to Van Bussel though? Oh, it's gonna be as he flicks through on DRS, isn't it? Whee! And then, oh, this is so painful. Oh, he's quite frankly a bit unlucky not to get away with that. It's just the attitude of the car, it's just always angled towards the barrier. But yeah, as you flick out the slipstream with DRS open, yeah, you can't flick it around like he did. And then, yeah, off he goes. Lap 23 we're on. Dylan Platt still there with Schluter, using the DRS to stay in touch. Plenty of laps left, so not all over for him. Herlock stopped his gain towards McGorgy. His tyres are a lap older, of course, so that will hinder his progress somewhat. I would say Platt is kind of, surely he's at the crossover point with Schluter now in terms of tyres, because Schluter's on those medium compound tyres, Platt on the hards. Platt's tyres are only going to get better in comparison to Schluter's until the next box. Pascal's unable to find a way by Ragusa. So Muzayidis is the other driver on mediums. Everyone else is on hards, so it's just Schluter and Muzayidis. A pretty obvious strategy this time round. Looking like a two-stop for most people. Riedfeld then, he's 21st. Was 21st. Is he still or no? He's gone. He's gone. Well, at least he wasn't in the points, he'll be telling himself. It was a very big battle he had today to get to where he was. Plenty of contact either way. He might be able to rejoin still. But for now, his race is over. His Platt then behind Schluter. You can see Herlock climbing the hill in the distance. They're well outside DRS of him. And it's going to be a battle between these two guys, and potentially Singh if he can get up there with them for the final podium position. As it stands, McGorgy has an almost unassailable lead, I would say. He's gapping Herlock now by almost half a second a lap. He's been metronomic the last few laps. We haven't seen much of McGorgy. You don't need to. These are his laps for the last 5 laps. 33.9, 34.1, 34.1, 34.0, 34.1. Metronomic precision from McGorgy, and that's why he is our championship leader. If I missed something then, by the way, I apologise. Here comes I go boom on the outside on the replay. And he's going by Muzayidis, of course, who is in the box. He's dropping down the field, I was going to say. But he's boxed, so he doesn't fancy those mediums anymore. Now, he's come out on hards. I think he'll be able to get to the end from here. There's 24 laps left. It's quite a long way, but he's going soft, medium, hard. So the only driver so far to do that, I'd expect Schluter to come in and do the same thing. He's not really gained on those mediums, to be honest. So pretty clear to me that the hards were the right way to go. His Menno Clont. Yep. I would have said that was probably a bit brave. Worked with it. Yeah, it's too late. It's too late on the brakes. I think, if anything, Clont was not trying to make that move. If anything, I think he was just kind of misjudged his braking point. Thankfully, didn't cause any harm to Galco in front of him. It's just himself that he compromised. So here comes Platt then. Platt versus Schluter. Schluter's tyres probably have had enough. They've seen their best days plenty of laps ago. So Platt now trying to retake third position from the TX3 driver. You can see he's on the hard tyre versus Schluter's medium, so he now has that tyre advantage. And Platt has driven very well so far. They have lost touch with Herlock, but I think Herlock's pace generally has just been that little bit better. And yeah, it's been a tenth or so better per lap. And Platt now, he knows Schluter's going to box in the next couple of laps. I think his best bet here is to try and get by and make a couple of seconds before that happens, so he can then box the lap after, cover that off. Or the counter strategy to that would be to go as long as he can. Presumably he boxed, so he's 16 laps on these tyres, and there's 23 left. So you could go to like lap 29 if you're Platt here, box and do 20 laps to the end of the race. That would also be a strategy. It means he would catch Schluter based on tyre wear, assuming Schluter is going to box very shortly. I can't see any reason why he wouldn't, and he does go into the pits. It's like magic, isn't it? Platt continues then. Yeah, if I'm Platt, I think no, you're going to be undercut anyway. You might as well extend 3 or 4 laps here and have fresher tyres to attack at the end of the race. There's no real danger from Singh behind. The only thing that could happen here is if Singh boxes, and the undercut is going to be powerful. It's going to be a couple of seconds at least. So the lap that Singh boxes, you box the lap after. If you're Platt, you should still come out ahead. You'll have better tyres than Singh, and then you'll be able to close on Schluter. So that's the Platt strategy. Keep an eye out for that. That's what I would be doing anyway. Out comes Mark Schluter in 10th position behind Kardash, who I don't know is going to be able to get to the end of the race or not. It'll be a long way he has to go on those hard tyres. He boxed on lap 15, so he'd have to do 34 laps on the hard. It's not 100% outside the realms of possibility from a physical point of view. Like, the tyres won't die, but pace-wise, I think it would be better to box again. Right now, I thought the soft tyres would get to lap 12. No, nothing. Usa then, P7. Bit out of sorts, bit quiet race for him, but he's going to pick up decent points. He's got Heiger Poom half a second in front of him, and Deval a couple of seconds ahead of that. Deval now is in P5, of course. He's got Schluter, who's boxed, who presumably will retake that position. So Deval P5 dreams, we'll see. But Ragusa's had a quiet race this round, not what he needed from the championship hunt. I don't know how much he cares about the championship, as Poom slides his way into the pit lane through that tight entry that costs a lot of time, by the way, and it's a very long pit lane, quite a long time before the first garage appears as well. So something for the drivers to keep an eye out in Super League as well is the length of that pit lane does affect the strategy. It could push teams to do one fewer stops if they can get away with it, but we're certainly not seeing anyone able to get a one stop going here. So Poom comes out 11th place, and he is only 3 seconds back of Stavros Mazaides, but 14 seconds back of Schluter. I think they were pretty close together earlier on this race. We're in P9. Bardash in front of him. It's also settled down a little bit, you know. Burlock's dropping back of Magorgi. Platt's kind of in the middle of nowhere now for the next few laps until he boxes, and Schluter's definitely going to undercut him based on his sector times, by the way. So he's a half a second quicker in the first sector than Platt. Here comes Herlock. Okay, that was a 6 seconds-ish to Magorgi. So and of course we know there's 20 laps left. Magorgi will just cover him off next lap, but interesting to see how much Herlock gains from this. So into the box he comes. Sing's so far back of McGorgy, 18 seconds between the teammates, and they're both on the same strap. So that's a lot, to be honest. Considering Sing's quality last season, just not quite able to do it in these cars. Still in P3. That won't be net P3 for Sing. He's going to be 4th, I think, at best this race. So Herlock exits the pit lane. Pascal in behind him as well. So Pascal's definitely going to score points. Might be top 10 points, you know. He's come out behind Poon. And so he'll have to overtake him if they get towards the end of the race. Poon's on mediums, just noticed. So he thinks he can get the mediums to the end. I don't think that's possible, considering he... Is that right, race view? Here's Van Bussel, by the way, with Galka coming through turn 2. And on the outside, Van Bussel still there. Galka's giving him plenty of room. Good driving from Michal Galka there. And Van Bussel makes it stick around the outside. So, yeah, good driving. Happy with that. Well done to Galka. And Van Bussel moves his way into 14th place. And that is points as it stands for him. On board now with Mark Schluter, who is looking at the back of Damon Kardash. Doesn't want to be stuck here for too long. Kardash running long on those hards. I don't know if he's going to get to the end from here, but currently P7. So he's there on merit if he's not boxing again. Though I would say it's quite likely he's going to box again. McGorgy did box then and comes out a long way ahead of Herlock. 10 seconds of Herlock. So although Herlock's outlap was decent, just wasn't good enough to get anywhere near McGorgy, who only lost 2 seconds-ish. The times will sort themselves out, I would have said. So Singh boxes, moves back down to 8th, which will become 7th when Kardash inevitably pulls back into his clutches or pits. Herlock P5 behind Ragusa, who definitely has to stop again, considering how early he boxed. And the same goes for Duval, who's done 20 laps on those hards. There's 19 laps left, so if he's going to go hards again, now's the lap to do it. And in fact that would benefit Ragusa and Herlock, who we're on board with now. And Herlock almost a whole pit stop ahead of Ragusa. That's quite a big discrepancy in pace this round, you know, from some of the drivers. So Herlock on the button, look, he's at least got DRS and unable to make his way through here. I would say one of these two guys in front of him is going to box. Leo Duval pits. So there we go. He's pulled his way in. Dylan Platt also in the pit lane further ahead. So Platt now, where does he come out versus Schluter? That's the big one, as Herlock makes his way through on those fresh tyres up into P2. So Platt, as he comes out, he's going to be behind Schluter. How much behind? Okay, so you've got 4 seconds to make 4 or 5 seconds to make up. Not too bad. And of course he did cover off Singh as well nicely, who we just saw pit. So that worked out exactly how we thought it would. Duval comes out the pit lane. Always behind Poon and Moussaïdis. That's not worked out quite so nicely for Duval. Of course, he was battling away with those guys, especially Moussaïdis earlier on. But Moussaïdis has got a lot longer to go. Well, he's done 6 laps on those tyres already, and Poon's on mediums. So Duval, I think, is my favourite out of these 3 to finish ahead of them all. So it's just Kardash and Ragusa left to pit in the top 10. And Ragusa is... How many laps is he down on those tyres? 18. As McGorky's going for fastest lap on this lap. Yeah, plunging a bunch of push to pass into it, trying to get the fastest lap. He's done 2 purple sectors. Haven't seen much of Owen this race. Haven't needed to. Been serene and smooth sailing at the front. And that is a 31.8. McGorgy, very good. For a, not quite a grand slam, but certainly a full house of fastest lap pole and the race victory. Here comes Ragusa down the pit lane. So he's had enough of those tyres. He's definitely in the range of putting mediums on to the end though. So keep an eye on whether he makes any forward progress. He's going to come out close, I think, with where Musaidis is. Where is Musaidis? He goes through, and Poom goes through as well, as does Deval. So now we've got something interesting going on, where the Ragusa on those fresh mediums is definitely going to catch Poom, I would say, who's on very second hand. Well, not very, but they've done 4 laps, those mediums, in comparison to Ragusa's fresh. I don't think Poom can get to the end of those. I think that's a brave call. There is Poom coming into the banked hairpin for the S's. He's got Musaidis in front of him, so you can see the only 2 people, I assume Van der Voort's also going to throw a set of mediums on here, but the only 2 people on mediums, Poom and Ragusa, yeah. Sabin's on mediums actually, that a lot. So yeah, 15 laps left in this race, and Platt is right behind Kardash now, wanting to get this move done sooner rather than later if he's going to have any chance of closing up the Schluter. Not far actually down the road. The Kardash, he'll be hoping won't defend this too hard, and through, I think, almost inevitably goes Dylan Platt, although the straight line speed of that Gallery 82 looking plenty good enough, but tyre wear wise not happening. But Kardash is sticking this out, you know. I think he's going to try at least to stick a set of softs on, which will obviously give him potential for the fastest lap. Here's Deval then on the back of Poom, and closing rapidly on them is Ragusa, who's yeah, a good 4/10 faster than Poom in that final sector alone on the last lap, so he definitely on a charge. Val's had a relatively mixed race. He's P9 currently, but definitely expect that position to improve a little. Here's Sonneveld then coming into the chicane. What happened to... Oh, wheel on the grass, and we go around. It is hard to keep your concentration for this many laps, and he boxes okay. I mean, it really messes your tyres up going sideways like that. So, but putting your wheel on the grass is kind of, how have you managed that? Have you been distracted that much? You know, very interesting mistake, that one. So Poom, Musaidis in front of him, and Liam Deval directly almost behind him now. They're closing on Musaidis, who's on much older hards, of course. On older hards, and the mediums currently will be working better for Hyger Poom. So now is the chance for Poom to make that move. He's got the DRS open. Is he fast enough down the straight to throw it down the inside into turn 1? He is. He's pinched himself in the apex a bit though, Poom. Very tight line, and unable therefore to get through on Musaidis. Now here comes Deval behind Hygo, and Deval, a capable driver, unable to get through, but certainly manages to avoid hitting the back of a driver at that corner. Van Bussel here with Silver Joffer, battling away. We in some interesting battles for Van Bussel. Definitely been in the wars, but he's P13, stuck it out, you see. And when you do stick it out, sometimes the results do actually end up coming your way. He got a bit lucky that he was right by the pit lane when his front wing went. So Poom kind of very close actually. Stavros. He's going to have an opportunity here into the final chicane on the second of our 2 DRS zones. So he opens the rear wing flap, and through the flat outright kink they go, and this time he's got enough straight line speed to throw it up the inside. Side by side they go through the chicane though, and although, yeah, so he comes to Val then up the inside of Musaidis. So Musaidis held him off. Here comes Ragusa as well. It's going to be side by side by side by side as they head down the pit straight. And, oh, this is going to concertina up nicely. It's going to be 4 wide. It's going to be 3 wide as they head into turn 1. Ragusa's on the inside of Poom, who's on the inside of Deval. And it's side by side still, but Deval wins out. And the loser is Musaidis as they go into turn 3. Oh, and Ragusa trops across the front of Poom. And having none of that. So Ragusa's tyre is definitely the best currently of these 4. He's got much fresher mediums. That was great, because none of them actually ended up in trouble. So Poom had a big run here. I'm amazed he left the inside open there, Musaidis. But then he tried to hang it around the outside. There's nothing wrong with that. But Liam Deval ended up being the beneficiary. Sending it up the inside again. Could have been defended a little better there from Musaidis. Didn't need to give him the space there. And then on the exit, it's all about who had the push to pass and DRS. I was thinking it could be 4 wide. In the end, it was just 3. But Liam Deval braking on the rubber, so tight. When you're on the inside there, Deval did brilliantly to not just cut across the nose of everyone there, actually, frankly. Very astute driving. And then Poom not able to get back up the inside of Ragusa. And all round, superb driving. Well done, everyone, for getting out of that alive. It's down the inside there from Ragusa. He was so tight to the apex. Deval did well to kind of anticipate that and leave enough room for him, because he wouldn't have seen him. He would have been miles in his blind spot. So well done to all of them. It's not over, because of course now Deval doesn't have DRS and Ragusa does, but nothing doing this lap. I don't know if Deval was on the push to pass or not. Difficult to say. We have no information on it, but Ragusa definitely favourite currently to take that P6. Watching a replay now. We've had a lot of airtime for Joey on Bustle. Please tell me this is not another traction issue. It is. There's something wrong with the back end of that car, I think. They just haven't got it able to get out of traction zones. It's not the first time we've seen that happen. Here's Guy Sonneveld, who frankly was pushed there, sends it back down the inside. That was a great move. Oh, that wasn't. That was shocking. And Geese, unfortunately, gets turned sideways. That he didn't deserve that, I don't think. Not a great deal wrong with the initial move. And who was that? Karshavin, wasn't it? Must have been, because Guita was still repairing his damage from earlier in the pit lane, I'd imagine. But yeah, so Sonneveld threw it on the inside, and then, yeah, very opportunistic. No, ambitious move from Karshavin. It was never going to work. Here's Ragusa then, lining up our favourite Dutchman, Liam Deval, who's run deep into the chicane there. Missed the first apex and just about. Oh my goodness. Why? Okay, cool. Fine. So Deval gave him the room there. Saw him coming. See, Deval's got his head switched on today. It's nice to see. He could see Ragusa coming. He knows his tyres are going to be better at the end of the race. Potentially, he's got 12 more laps to do this. So sometimes you do just want to. What is going on here, Menno? Holy. Okay, so Menno Kont there was very late on the brakes again into the chicane, and has chosen to box. So glad we caught that. He went bounding over the curb. Here is a further replay of some shenanigans going on. Karshavin involved with Guy Sonneveld again. That was poor from Sonneveld. Yeah, didn't need to be pushed wide there, Karshavin. I know he threw one at the inside unnecessarily the lap before, but that was pretty rubbish. So was this. Oh my goodness. That was nearly a colossal accident. He nearly flipped the car. Well, no harm, no foul in the end. I like these replays. You never know what you're going to see next. Liam Deval then, P7. And he has Ragusa in his sights. Frankly, this is the closest battle left. Schluter and Platt will become a thing, but it's not a thing yet. Keep an eye on for that thing to develop. Platt is currently 3/10 a lap faster-ish. And of course he has 4 lap fresher tyres to add to that. So last 4 laps from Schluter, points 33.6, 33.9, 33.6, 33.6, and it's been 33.4, 33.8, 33.3 Platt. So he's kind of catching ish. 3/10 a lap. Is that going to be enough? It is, yeah. There's he's 2.8 back, or 2.6 back now, with 11 laps left. So yeah, he only needs to be 2/10 a lap faster right now. And he's 3. So Platt will catch Schluter. I have no doubt about that in my mind. Just whether he can overtake or not. I know Platt's straight line probably not the strongest. He's 5k down in this race on Schluter. So yeah. Here comes Joffer. We've seen these two before. Van Bussel. Can he get through? No, Joffer is staying behind of Van Bussel, who's currently P13, looking to make it to the end. So Kardash has boxed. Okay, so he's gone medium tyres. You'd expect him to have a go at fastest lap from here. He's P11. He's not that far behind these guys, actually. So Kardash could make some serious inroads into... He's looking at P6 here, actually. He's obviously a lot of cars to overtake, but he's 5 seconds back of P6 with brand new mediums. And that's a good call. In fact, this strategy is going to work out beautifully for Kardash. Shows avoiding the softs. They were poor, the softs, today. And Kardash kind of outside the top 10. He's on the counter strategy. And he make it work. He's already up to P10. As I was talking strategy, he flew past Pascal then. So good move from him. Keep an eye out on Damien Kardash. What have these two been up to? Going away for a second. Joffer is going to traction his way into the barriers. Does he survive? He does. There's some, yeah, a bit of a 50p piece tyre now. Oh, Kardash is already, look at this. He's already caught Mercedes. Throws it down the inside. Very good from Mercedes. Just gives him enough room. Through he goes. Look at the traction advantage he has. Kardash is a man on a mission. P6 is definitely within range for Kardash. He's come alive on those brand new mediums. Whether fastest lap is in his range or not, I would be a bit tricky because McGorgy threw everything at his lap, all the push to pass in the world. But Kardash now P9, and we'll see sector wise. Oh yeah, he's flying. Okay, 3/10 faster than anyone else through the first sector is Damien Kardash, and another 3/10 in the middle sector versus everyone else. He's flying. Ooh, we have a pitter. We have Mercedes, who has decided that was the wrong tyre. There's actually nothing to lose behind him because Ragosa is a long way back. So this will be a set of softs or mediums. Presumably a fastest lap hunt for him. Im de Val then P7. He's hoping that Ragusa's tyres aren't going to last too much longer. He's still there in DRS. He's done a good job to stay there, considering the tyre advantage that Ragusa has. Schluter's actually gapping Platt now again for that fight for P3 and P4. So we'll keep an eye on that though as we go along. Is Joffer versus Galka. Galka driving a much more composed race this time out than we saw at Jeddah, where I wasn't best pleased with the way he retired, to be honest, but he's stuck it out this time around. P14 from the back of the grid. It's a decent drive from him, particularly because he's been in battles, been in the wars a little bit, and he's got Joffer behind him, who was all at sea there in the braking zone. Kardash absolutely flying at the moment, by the way, and he's coming through sector 2. I want to see what his sector 2 is actually like here. He's 1.2 seconds back, as you can see in the bottom right of Kygo Poom, and he comes through the middle sector. Yeah, he's 3/10 faster than Poom. This won't be long at all till he catches and overtakes him. Now, whether he can get to Deval and Ragusa, that's another story. Ragusa on that last lap did a 33.2. What's Kardash doing as he crosses the line? Okay, so he did a 33.3 in. Particularly impressive in that last sector, actually, from Kardash. Don't really know, wasn't much wrong with it. So yeah, okay, maybe 6th is ambitious, but he's certainly going to catch and he would hope overtake Poom from here. Mercedes has put on soft tyres, by the way, so he is going to set fastest lap, I would say. That's probably his plan. He is, let's see how hard he's pushing. Probably very. I would be. This is an opportunity for another point. He was kind of going to finish here anyway. And he's still 10 seconds ahead of Ragosa in the other gallery 82. But 11th place for Mercedes. It could have been better, to be fair. Where is he at through sector 1? He is green, not purple. So we'll keep an eye on those sector splits. Kardash is flying still. Definitely going to catch Poom. Don't know about Ragusa and Duval. Depends if their tyres kind of drop off. But at the minute, yeah, Kardash is definitely going to get Poom, I would say. Zaides through sector 2 then. It's just coming up now. And as he goes through that split, yeah, he's close. He's not going to take fastest lap at this rate. He's going to have to dump a push to pass, which we know Magorgi absolutely did. Whether he's got the push to pass to use or not, Mercedes, he's been definitely more involved in battles than Magorgi was, using all of the track in the final corner. Through he comes. This is probably his one shot at it, and he hasn't got it. 3/10 off Magorgi. Shows how imperious Magorgi has been, considering he set it on hard tyres with a much heavier car. Kudos to Magorgi today. It's been absolutely brilliant. He's going to finish 11 or 12 seconds ahead. Who said 20 seconds? Was it 20 seconds you guys said he'd finish in the lead, or 15? Oh, that was you, was it? Showing me little voice in my ear. At least a 20-second win for Owen. I don't see that. It's going to be 15 possibly though. What happened to Van der Voort? Just lag. Looks like. Oh, he continues. He's just outside the points in P17. He's actually the first driver to be lapped. Kardash then. Where's he at? Got Poom in front of him. And Poom is half a second between them now. When Poom's car looks loose, those rear tyres have had plenty enough. So this won't be long, I don't think. 6 laps left. They're on the same tyre, but one of these guys, Kardash, is only done 8 laps on his tyres. Poom's done 15. Here's Platt versus Schluter. Schluter's lost his wing. Schluter's lost his wing. Okie dokie. This is going to be replay worthy. What has happened here? Like Marcus having a look there at the inside. Right, okay, so was this because of the bat? Okay. Oh, for God's sake, man. What's going on there? What are they doing? Is this courage? This is so bad. It's unbelievable. This is Horshabin and Sonneveld, who've been smashing each other off track all race. And now they've caused a potential podium for Schluter to be ruled out. Let's see what these two were up to. It's terrible driving, frankly. Look how wide they are. Smashing each other off the track. Horshabin has no business doing that. Then he spins. Flies across the front of Schluter. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. And Schluter's been denied a podium opportunity as a result. So he's going to have to crawl his way back to the pits. He has got a relatively big gap behind him. Yeah, so Kardash gets by Poom. Okay, there we go. So that one was obvious. It's just a matter of when, not if, for those guys. Yeah, he is now... Okay, of course, because of Schluter, P7. Only 4 seconds up the road to Zaval. It's just whether or not they're... just whether or not they're actually slow enough for him to catch them. I don't think they are, necessarily. But yeah, Kardash ahead now of Poom, and I think that is how they'll finish 7th and 8th position, unless Duval and Ragusa's tyres do really drop off. Schluter comes out the pit lane. He's on softs, of course. He might take fastest lap. This is definitely a fast lap opportunity now. Stavros Mazaides regretting pitting him for mediums, I think, at the end of the first stint, because his tyres now are very second hand. He's going to finish probably 11th. Schluter's going to gobble him up before the end of this lap, I'd imagine. Probably wants to have DRS down the main pit straight, if he's thinking clearly, which he may not be after being smashed off by a backmarker, who should have no business whatsoever doing, spinning in front of him. Yeah, if he's got anything going on in his head, he needs to wait for the start-finish straight to give him the best possible opportunity. Why have we switched it? Like, no offense, no offense, Szymon. Why have we switched them battling away still? Like, what sort of nonsense are they? I mean, look who's behind them. Sandeep Singh's going to have to be really careful here. These two are clearly absolutely no idea what's going on for the rest of the drivers. It's on about throwing it up the inside of Karshavin. Now trying to go around the outside, now nearly spinning. Is he going to send it here? I think they've lost, honestly, I think they've lost the plot. Okay. Is he getting out of the way? Yes, he is. Okay. Whatever. Schluter's now right on the back of Musaidis. And has he left it too late here? No. No, we need to go out the outside. We need to get by. This is your opportunity for fastest lap, and I don't know if this is going to be good enough here. Oh, of course, Musaidis is on softs, isn't he? Evox as well. Yeah. Still, same point. Why would you? Why? You know, he's obviously thinking to himself, I wish I hadn't gone mediums in that second stint. Liam Duval and Ragusa then. So surely by now the tyres have said enough for Ragusa, who is, how many laps more on those tyres is he? So he's on 13 laps on the medium, 14 for Duval, but of course he's on the hard, so the crossover surely. What's happened to Pascal here? Yeah, I think this could be another traction zone issue. Okay, Duval is very close to Ragusa. He's surely, it's a matter of time for him to, as they come towards the final corner. These two have got, of course, the battling Horshavin and Sonneveld in front of them. So they are, look at, they're still battling. Look, flick to them now. They're literally going to send each other at turn one. Side by side they go. Do they give each other any room? It's crazy. It's crazy driving from the pair of them. This is mental. Look at this. It's absolutely some of the worst driving I've seen in GPVWC. And Karshavin there was out of order once again. New fastest lap from Schluter, by the way, so he does take it off McGorgy. Out of the way goes Sonneveld, who wasn't much better in this battle, by the way, but of the two, slightly better behaved, I would say. So Harshavin is letting them both through too. I almost want to just watch this and see. At some point, someone's going to retire. Sonneveld's off the road. I hope, for the rest of the race's sake, that means that they won't battle anymore. Duval is right behind Schluter now, and of course, sorry, not Schluter, Ragusa. He's got push to pass. Is this the DRS and push to pass send that he needs to take that fifth position that everyone was suggesting he was going to get? Duval into the final chicane. Ragusa just has enough on the braking, but it's a matter of time surely on those tyres. And Duval still with about 3 years of understeer through the final corner. Didn't change it after qualifying clearly. As he comes down the pit straight then, back in the slipstream. And I don't know if I'd have switched back to that side. Ragusa does though, and tries to turn him, but Duval's car is there. Through he goes, Liam Duval back up into 5th place. And yay, all the YouTube chat, I can hear them cheering in the background, who said he'd be P5. So yeah, here's what happened to Pascal. On softs, by the way. Ooh, yep. No, not good. Learning the hard way how the okay, he's learning the hard way how the rear tyres should be behaving. This is what happened to Sonneveld in the slipstream, and therefore, goodness, oh my god, those tyres are gone. There's nothing left on those rears, unsurprisingly, by the way, because they've been I suspect he's got very, very heavy damage all the way around his car, the way that that car's been driven today, and the way that he's been driven into by Harshavin. It's been a horror show. Stepi Ragusa then, he's got DRS back on Liam Duval. I don't know if he's going to have enough. We're heading towards the final lap now, of course. In fact, McGorgy is on the final lap. But coming through the final corner now, Giuseppe Ragusa. He's still there, you know. If he's got any push to pass left and Duval doesn't, because it looked like Duval used a lot to get through, by the way, he might have an opportunity. Coming out of the pit lane is Zongoli, who we've seen get involved as a back marker before, but thankfully he's behind these two, so nothing doing this time round. But yeah, if anyone is still watching this, tell me who's finishing first out of these two, Ragusa and Duval. I think Duval probably has the tyres now, even though Ragusa's going to have DRS for one final time on the pit straight and one final time. Oh, actually 2 more times on the back straight, so we'll see. We have to give Owen McGorgy a huge amount of credit. He's starting his final lap after this. Just got to negotiate some of the back markers, but he's got through past, I think that's Hewitt, who's probably like, yeah, he's 4 laps down currently. But well done for continuing, Killian. Very impressed with that. You never know what can happen in post-race. I think certainly there's a couple of drivers in front of me who would do hefty penalties, depending on whether they get reported or not. But here comes Ragusa then. Okay. Thought that was going to be a little more dangerous than it was. He just doesn't have the traction, you see. What happens to those mediums when they drop. Although Duval's tyres don't look in the best of shape, but this is probably his final opportunity. Duval's punched it on push to pass. So the question is, how much has Ragusa got left? Is he going to full send into the chicane on the last lap? We will see. But we have to say, McGorgy has driven a fantastic race. He's 12.5 seconds ahead of everyone else. Not quite the 20 that Szymon was saying. That would have been very optimistic, I think. But he's been the class of the field this season so far. He's been the class of the field today. And I think he'll be the class of the field for the rest of the season too. And he is starting, well, he's coming through the final sector now. Just a couple more corners to go. And McGorgy is going to take another victory. It will be his 4th of the season so far. And very well deserved. He's going to stay behind this lapped car, which is Silver Yoffair, giving Silver another chance at another lap. But well done, McGorgy. Crosses the line in celebration. Herlock's going to be P2. Joseph Herlock's had a quiet race to P2. This is the last opportunity for Ragusa. Can he get Liam Duval? I don't think there's no way from there. Duval's just had the better tyres on this last lap. So Herlock crosses the line P2. Dylan Platt in 3rd place. Here comes Singh in the other Road to Formula 4th. And of course, we've got Van Bussel here battling away with Ragusa. Oh, and Van Bussel takes out Ragusa. There wasn't enough room. And Ragusa goes spinning. Van Bussel doing a little pirouette. You know, if they end up in that position where they are now currently, I suspect they'll that there won't be any penalties for that. It looked like they got tyres interlocked there. Yeah, yeah, he sent it. Yeah, Van Bussel's at fault for that one. So as long as Ragusa still finishes ahead of him, didn't lose any positions, I would say in that one, let's just allow for that finish to have happened. But well, today we had some excellent driving right at the front. McGorgy, Herlock, Platt certainly would race very well to P3. Singh kept it quiet to 4th position. Ragusa on the wrong tyres ended up 6th when he could have been 4th. And Liam Duval, 5th place for him. Great result for him. Schluter in the other TX3, taken out by some abysmal driving from some back markers, and there's some serious questions to be asked of the back markers in this field. It's not the first time we've seen this season major positions being affected by brain dead back markery, and hopefully that changes in the next round, because it was pretty poor today. But well done Owen McGorgy for Road to Formula. He takes his 4th victory of the season out of 6 races. Imperious for him. Joseph Herlock thinking what could have been at Jeddah, P2 here. Dylan Platt P3 for TR Geek. Sandeep Singh, as we mentioned, Road to Formula first and fourth. They are dominating the team's championship as well. Liam Duval for Fusion 5th, Giuseppe Ragusa 6th position, Damien Kardash 7th. Schluter in the other TX3, very disappointing for him, 8th, but not his fault. Heigl Poom on a different strategy today, 9th, and same from Zaidis. He finished in 10th position. Joey Van Bussel had a very up and down race, but still picked up good points in 11th place. In 12th, we had Michel Galka from the back of the field. He'll be very, very happy with that, I'd imagine. We had Menacron 13th, Ragosa 14th, Silver Yoffair picking up the final points position in 15th place, and he'll be over the moon with that. Pascal 16th and Van der Voort 17th. Parshabin and Guy Sonneveld 18th and 19th, and they need to have a little look at themselves after this round. Flavio Zangoli in 20th position. And then Huit was the final finisher in 21st, with Riedfeld, Francesconi, DeZeo and Capolini non-finishers, DNF. Fastest lap went to Schluter in the end. He did a 30.9, so it wasn't a full house for Aaron McGorgy, but Schluter took it by pitting onto those soft compound tyres right at the end. Thank you very much for listening to me today. We're not quite finished. I'm hoping that a couple of drivers will come here to say hello. Thank you for bearing with me. I hope you guys had a nice time. It was an interesting one to watch, I would say. But yeah, well done to the top few guys. Very, very, yeah, very good. Very good work. We have Spanish Grand Prix up next. That is a 4-week gap, so we have a nice little break. I'm going to try and find someone to join me next time. Ewan Gale, who does normally join, unfortunately he was unable to be here. He's struggling with work commitments at the moment, so hopefully he'll be back at some point this season. I enjoy commentating with him. Today you had me. I hope that was okay. So I'm going to talk very quickly to a couple of drivers. We have 2 here waiting. It is going to be very quick because my voice is dead at this point. Mr. McGorgy, congratulations, mate. Very, very good drive. I think probably one of the most dominant results of your career, I would say. Qualifying especially, you were quick, and in the race you had it all in hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was as dominant as Baku, but I kind of have reasons for that. I had my internet issues for the first week, so I didn't do any practice. Then I thought it was going to be wet, so I did loads of wet practice. Then it was said it's going to be dry. I did about 50 completed laps of dry practice. My longest stint was about 5 laps on the softs, and I was like, these tyres are horrible. I think I'm going to end up doing a free stop. But this surprised me. Pole was a PB. I think yesterday my PB was like a 29.2. And so today I gained quite a bit of pace. But the race, I didn't expect to be that good, and I mean, for half of it I was just laughing and joking around with Sandeep.
Good. I mean, I think you should start to expect it by now. You're clearly the class of this field. There's no shame in thinking that way, by the way. You know, if you're 4/10 faster than your teammate, who is Sandeep Singh and is pretty good, you know, you're definitely on top of your form, and we've seen you in Super League being able to get on the podium. Hopefully we'll see you there more often and potentially next season, but obviously you've got to get through this season first. I don't see anyone else usurping you at the top. The guys who are near you aren't able to put the laps in like you can, I think. Certainly Liam Thabal has other commitments, for example. So obviously you also have a very quick car. You've gone down the same route as Edge in terms of upgrades. Is that something you guys work together as a team?
I have no idea. I never did any of the practice for that at the start of the season, because that was when I had my issues with my wheel where it kicks me out of the game every 5 minutes. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't know exactly what we're doing. I just let Sandeep and Matteo and Jake and whatever do what they want. But yeah, like I said, I don't know exactly what's going on with that. I just have some minor inputs, but it's not too much.
4 week gap now. What are you going to do with it?
I'm going on holiday for a week.
Okay. Where are you going?
To Wales.
How are you? Nice.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Down south somewhere.
Down south. That's not very specific.
It's nowhere like in the north of Wales. But I don't want to say exactly where I'm going, just in case there's some crazy people out there.
Wow. I doubt it. Well, come and say hello. I'm in Cardiff. Come and say hello if you want.
Right, baby.
Hope you have a nice time. Well done today.
Thank you.
Cool beans. That was Owen McGorgy, who I think we'll be talking to a lot more this season. Here is Dylan.
Hello.
What? Hello. How's it going?
Just fine. That was I think it's one really fun race.
Yeah, I saw your battles were good. And of course you were battling away with Schluter with the tire offset. Obviously able to overtake him in the end. But some interesting back markers going on for that. What were your take on it?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate what happened to him. It's the second worst way to be taken out of a position like that, bar being disconnected. Which, given how he drove all race, it was just so unlucky.
Yeah, I think so too. I actually think it's just poor from the back markers. They should just do better.
Yeah, definitely.
But Dylan, it's obviously another great result for you. You're driving well this season. Are you eyeing up P2 in the championship? Is that the goal?
Honestly, I'm not really looking at the drivers. It's more about the constructors for us. But hey, the best, the higher place we are, the better, right? P2 might be a little bit unrealistic, but definitely top 4 might be on. So
I think you could get P2 in the drivers. I don't know whether you'll get ahead of. I mean, TX3 are very strong. Their 3 drivers they tend to swap around are very strong. So obviously, it's a good target to have. Obviously, if you are in the top 2, that would be considered for promotion to Super League. Is that the long-term goal? Do you know?
Hopefully, I think that is the goal for next year. But hey, we shall see, right?
Absolutely. Well driven today, mate. It's nice to watch you, and you've come a long way actually this season. You've been driving very well. So had a rough first round, and after that, been very consistent. So well done, mate.
Yep. Cheers.
Cool. That was Dylan. Dylan Platt. Nice to speak to him. And that is all the people who wanted to come and speak to me. I'm not surprised. We got a little grumpy today, but still an interesting race to watch. It was nice that it wasn't a wet race. I think it could have been a lot worse driving standard than it was. But hopefully the next round that we watch, which will be in 4 weeks' time at Spain, at the Barcelona track without the final chicane, by the way. Oh, thank God. Please be there for that. I enjoy doing these broadcasts, and hopefully you guys had a lot of fun watching. In 2 days' time is Super League. Same track, different drivers. Keep an eye out for that. Should be a lot of fun. There's a battle at the top of the championship brewing in that one that's a lot tighter than this one in Superlights. So keep an eye out. It's 2 days' time. It'll be here, same time. Please do watch. We've got Caitlin, and she'll be on comms, and we've got Ryan Elliott alongside. So those two always provide a nice show. So keep an eye out, and until then, thank you. I was Toby Davis. I had Szymon Frelik on cameras with me tonight. So always remember to thank the cameraman. It's a thankless task. Thanks very much. See you all soon.